Okay, I think I'm actually live now. I think this is actually a thing that is happening. What a stupid rule, YouTube. What an unbelievably stupid rule. And thanks for telling me about that rule. You know, instead of just making a circle around, maybe just tell me that I can't do it. Holy crap on a cracker. What a wonderful start to this. Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Crawford. Thanks for joining us. It's opening day, baby. We're going to watch some Seattle Mariners versus Cleveland Guardians. Thank you, Chad. Thank you for being patient with me as I figured out one of the most asinine rules that I've ever heard of in my life. Just so dumb. And thank you to StreamYard for allowing this to be a great workaround. Wouldn't have known it unless I could Google. Unless I had Google, I guess I should say. Anybody can Google. Oh, that's just crazy. But yeah, we're just going to watch some baseball today. Come ask me questions. I'll ask you guys questions. Is Adley Rutschman the greatest baseball player of all time? Like, that was so impressive. Yeah, that's just that was really impressive, and boy, was that scary too. I want to say thank you real quick to everybody who came to Jimmy's on First today and gave us a bunch of support for recording our Mollywop in live. It was a very interesting thing to be on the radio. So we had Ian's show started with Andres Munoz, and then after Andres Munoz was John Stanton, the managing partner, I guess is what the technical term is. Let's be honest, he's the owner. He's the guy who owns the Seattle Mariners. And then me and Nathan, and then Jerry DePoto. So you got leadoff Andre Munoz. You got hitting second John Stanton. Batting third, you've got Chris Crawford and Nathan Bishop. Batting fourth, Jerry DePhoto. Yeah, Peter, it's one of the greatest things about opening day, and it gets me every single time. I actually hate that I have to watch the game on mute, but I knew I was going to have to, so I went and watched it before because I think it's an incredibly important thing to do. The kid running around the bases also gets me. I mean, opening day is the best, man. This is, if you can't be optimistic or excited on opening day, then I kind of feel sorry for you. And there have been times where I haven't been able to do it. Like when there were years when it was pretty obvious that the Mariners weren't going to be very good. There were some opening days that were, it was exciting because it's the start of a brand new season in baseball, but you also knew it wasn't going to lead anywhere. But like, there's always that little thought in the back of your head that's like, maybe they can do something. Maybe they'll outperform projections every year. Yeah. Oh, Peter, so happy for you. Like to get to share that with kids is just such an important thing. Currently watching Casey Keller come out to throw a first pitch. I'm going to do something real smart here, and I am going to put on Do Not Disturb on my phone. It's only got like 12% battery anyway. It's going to die. But yeah. Oh, who's this? Now we've got Jewel Lloyd. I thought it might have been Sue Bird. She's probably busy. But yeah, man, this is exciting. Is Ryan Helsley a bust and more reactions to come? Probably not. But that was an interesting baseball game. I didn't get to watch a ton of it because I was so busy with the radio stuff today. Man, oh man, by the way, traffic on the way home from Seattle, dude. Driving to Shelton, for those of you who don't live in the Pacific Northwest, you just have no idea what it's like. Hey, Steve, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for coming and chatting with us. This is, GP, are you with me? Man, Gary Payton. I need to get a Gary Payton jersey. If anybody wants to leave a donation so that I can get a Gary Payton jersey, I sure wouldn't be mad. You, by the way, no one is under any type of obligation to leave anything. Oh, Marshawn. Man, they are doing this right. And that's one of the things Seattle Mariners have always been good at is this stuff. The setup stuff. They have always been incredibly good at that stuff. Baseball stuff, not always, but I think they're going to be pretty good. Did I see DeGrom get rocked today? Yeah. And I will say, Not great. Obviously, you look at the numbers. I did see some pretty good stuff. I'm not surprised given how little he threw in the spring that he wasn't very good. Um, and that's a tough lineup to start against. Tough, but I would be remotely concerned. Oh, Ken Griffey Jr. just really distracted me. Uh, yeah. And Sophie, you're 100% right. Everybody should play on opening day. There should be no days off. It should be a universal opening day. Everybody should be playing on opening day. There is no doubt in my mind. And hottish take, and I know that this isn't happening right now. Everybody should be playing opening day in the daytime. There should be no 10 o'clock games on opening day. And I kind of get that why they have to do that. And it's nice for a spread out thing. I'm just watching to see how many of these pitchers throw strikes. Oh, Marshawn. Oh, Marshawn. That's one of the worst opening days I've seen. No, that's bad, dude. There's no excuse for what you just did. You cannot bounce the ball to the plate. You can't do it. But yeah, like I was saying before I got distracted, and that's going to happen quite a bit tonight. You cannot not have everybody play on opening day. Everybody should be playing at the same time, and everybody should be playing at the same time the last day of the year. Just think that would be an awful lot of fun. It would just be the most fair thing to do as well. Trying to think of anything else interesting I saw today other than Adley Rutschman just being an absolute behemoth. Aaron Judge, holy crap. I got to tell everybody a funny thing. If Steve, you're still here, you can appreciate this. Oh, I just went to YouTube. That's weird hearing your voice on something like that. So Tops has these things where you have a pick the day to hit a home run card. And if you get it, you get a special paralleled card, meaning it's like numbered out of 150 or whatever. And I got an Aaron Judge one, and I picked him to hit a home run tomorrow. Dang it. He still could homer tomorrow, but I really wish I would have picked opening day because I'd be getting a pretty sweet Aaron Judge card. And, I like that guy. But yeah, he's really good. He's going to be, I thought, the limited thing that I got to watch of Marcus Stroman was really impressive, even with him going down in history as the first player ever to get the pitch clock violation or whatever. It is what it is. Corbin Burns, not great. Yeah, I mean, it was a good opening day, and now we got a couple of games going on. I think. See how Colorado and San Diego have scored their runs. It's currently 1-1. Juan Soto hasn't homered. That's disappointing. Chris Bryant. By the way, I really like Chris Bryant this year. I really do. I don't think the Rockies are very good. I think that's a hot take. But I think Chris Bryant's going to have a nice year, mainly because I think he's going to get a lot of DH time to keep him healthy if there's even like a semblance of injury stuff. I think that they really want to keep him on the field for as much as they can. It's going to be really important. I think he's going to have a big year. Astros lose, woot woot. I mean, look, I'm not a huge Schadenfreude guy or Schadenfreude or Schoden. I wouldn't mind the Astros getting off to a bad start. Would not mind the Astros getting off to a bad start. And it's nothing against the Astros. It's everything for the Mariners. It's everything for the Mariners. They got to win this division, man. It's going to be so hard. But they got to win it. So last time I looked, the Astros were winning 1-0. So I'm curious to see how that all went down. Let's take a look. Play-by-play. Scoring plays. What do you guys use for your box scores? Always curious to see. All right, so Grandal hit a home run to tie it at 1. It's interesting. Then Andrew Vaughn with a 2-run double off of Ryan Presley, who's on many of my fantasy teams. Woofty doofty. Not great, but good for the Mariners. Good for the Mariners to have a chance to be in first place. I like first place. something that the Mariners have not been in a whole heck of a lot in the last lifetime. Let's see. So we got Angels Athletics. Did it, any other? I mean, Adley Rutschman was obviously a huge standout, but if we're talking about surprise position players, I didn't watch enough today to really say. Nice to see Dom Smith got off to a good start. I did see that. Reached 3 times. Very nice to see. Like that he's sitting in the middle of that order. It's certainly something to keep an eye on. It's never been a question with Dom Smith. And I think the fact that he's going to get regular playing time is outstanding. CJ Abrams, 3 errors is really concerning because he struggled defensively at times last year as well. And I thought some of it had to do with like being, a young player, but this is carrying over now. This is a lot. Hey, thanks, Peter. We really appreciate you coming to check stuff out. And if you get bored, come on back in because I'm going to be here all night, probably. If things slow down, I might end the chat a little early, but I think I'm going to be here for most of the night. A lot of talking, a lot of preparing. Yeah, he did literally ruin Corbin today. That's disappointing because that's not a guy who can get away with a lot of defensive struggles anyway. See, Travis d'Arnaud had a really nice game. Let's see, Ron Acuna stealing a base. That's nice to see. Michael Harris drew a walk. Hey, there we go. Really want to see that guy take some pitches this year. So much talent, but how is that approach going to carry over? So important for it too. So important for it too. Just taking a look at what the Rangers hitters did today. Robbie Grossman, nice little start. Aaron Nola was not great today. Gregory Soto was awful. Awful. I'm really worried about Soto. Man, that's a guy who really struggles with command and now probably going to be pitching in a kind of a weird role. I would not be carrying that guy on my fantasy roster, and I hope that just becomes a cold take because I like him, but it looks like they did call that. No, they did not call that a stolen base for d'Arnaud. As far as I'm looking at this box score right now. Oh, so we've got Sims and Blowers tonight. Kind of want a Goldsmith, but I understand. Not going to be a hater. I know a lot of you really like Dave, and you are entitled to like whatever you want. Ain't for me, but part of that is really because I really, really, really like Goldsmith. I think he is probably my favorite announcer right now. Give or take a few, but yeah, I really, really, really like Aaron Goldsmith. And I think Goldsmith and Blowers have better chemistry together, personally. That's just one man's opinion, one person's opinion. Only 4 hits from the Astros. Dylan Cease. Yeah, Cease was really good. Really good. Only got to watch a little bit of it, but really impressive. He could be the Cy Young winner. He could. I worry about the command a little bit, but it only has to be average for him to be a successful starting pitcher. It's not completely out of the question. There's going to be some self-inflicted damage. The guy I'm picking to win Cy Young Award is taking the mound right now, as we literally taking the mound right now. I just think Luis Castillo is going to be amazing. His stuff is so good, man. So good. And I think the Mariners are going to give him win chances, which does matter a little bit still. My 2 biggest surprises were Colas not starting and Blake Sagal getting the opening day start after such an unbelievably unlikely offseason. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too surprised that Colas didn't start just because that's a tough lefty to go against, That's a really hard opening assignment for him. Nice to see him get a hit, though. Uh, yeah. Oh, Garrett Cole was really good today. Really good. Got to watch quite a bit of that. I think he could be in for a big year too. I think we're kind of sleeping on him a little bit, but I do think that I still go with Castillo, but Cole might be my second pick, and that's partially recency bias. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be awesome to see, wouldn't it be, to see somebody like Castillo win the Cy Young? It's been a little bit since the Mariners had, well, not that long. A lot of teams have waited a lot longer for individual awards. For as bad as the Seattle Mariners have been for most of their history, got quite a few individual awards. They've got a couple MVPs, got a bunch of Rookie of the Years. They've got a few Cy Youngs, I believe. Well, maybe not a. They do have a few. I know Randy won one, and I know that King Felix definitely won one as well. So it's more than a few teams. I guarantee it. And a bunch of Rookies of the Year, couple of Rookies of the Year that I think you can take umbrage with if they were actually rookies. It's almost disrespectful to call Kazuhiro Sasaki and Ichiro Suzuki rookies for what they had done in Japan. But all right, here we go. So I'm not going to do like play by play, but I'll do like individual, just for people who can't watch the game, that type of thing. And he's off to a 2-0 start. He's not missing by very much, though. Steven Kwan's an interesting one for me, especially as a fantasy writer type of guy. That lack of power really concerns me. Oh, Castillo down 3-0. I think he might be overthrowing a little bit. It's not surprising. It's everybody gets so amped up for opening day. And Castillo's, had command issues before. There we go, strike one. Yeah, it's great to see Mike Zunino. Zunino's a very flawed player, but he's easy to root for. Easy to root for. In Dynasty, I'm willing to trade anything for Castillo. Yeah, absolutely. He is I don't think people remembered just how good he looked in the second half of the season in that playoff start, especially against Toronto. That's probably not going too far. That looks like a pop-up. So we got one down. The Seattle Mariners retire everyone in 2023. That's science. There is literal proof that you cannot get a hit off the Mariners in 2023. It's a good start. It's nice to see a guy bounce back from 3-0. Clearly was overthrowing, but nice to see him bounce back against a quality hitter. Not surprising that Ahmad Rosario did not look to go 3-0. Gosh, he's such a frustrating player. I mean, he's a good player. And so you have Zunino in a reverse gladiator league where it's best worst lineup. That is a great pick. From fantasy perspective, he'll run into some homers because he's stronger than everybody. But man, he's really, 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 that approach is not good. Hey, there's our first strikeout. Nice job by Mr. Luis Castillo. So we have 2 outs. And I believe we'll be seeing a guy that I keep forgetting about for some reason, but probably deserves more MVP credit. Like somebody asked me the other day for RotoWire, like, who do you pick in an AL only league if you can't take Trout, you can't take, you can't take Ohtani, and you can't take, oh gosh, who was the other player? Anyway, I totally forgot about Jose Ramirez and said Kyle Tucker, but you should absolutely take Jose Ramirez over Kyle Tucker. He's going to win an MVP someday. Looks like we got a little bit of a wide strike zone to start, which is nice to watch pitching, and may not be so fun when the Mariners come up to the plate. Hey, Nick, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it. Little ground ball to first. As easy of an inning as you can have, especially after going 3-0 on somebody. Very, very impressive. Guardians have a good lineup, too. By the way, I wanted to say it so much earlier, and I got to talk about it a little bit on the radio today. Tommy La Stella, opening designated hitter. Oh, boy. The Mariners have had some bad DHs. They've had the greatest DH of all time, but they've had some bad ones. I'm not sure I've seen a worse one in terms of what he is right now than Tommy La Stella. I mean, that's your designated hitter. Come on, man. When do they institute the AI strike zone? Ooh, I hope soon. I hope really soon. I'm sorry. This is pitchers throw too hard with too much movement to rely on uh human eye. We have the technology. Steve Austin him. Let's just do it, man. I know it's frustrating to some folks who like the human element of the game. And the human element of the game is always going to be there because there are literally humans playing the game. It is okay to get things right. I get frustrated. I get really frustrated sometimes with how long replays take. By the way, college basketball. Oh my gosh, I love the sport so much. So hard to watch those last few minutes. And by last few minutes, I mean last hour. Not an original thought whatsoever, but it's so hard. All right. Our boy's coming up. Our sweet, sweet Julio. I'm predicting in the first live chat of the year, Julio Rodriguez double to right center field. Let's see how right I am. Let's see how right I am. Oh, that was looks like that would have been a strike in the last inning. So that's and yeah, Chad, that's exactly it. It is a scenario where they have kind of created this thing. Oh, good swing. Looked like he was trying to do exactly what I was asking him to do, only instead of a double, he was looking to hit it 600 feet. This is just such a fun player to watch, man. Like maybe my favorite player to watch in baseball right now, and I'm a little biased because, oh, nice pitch from Bieber there. Nice pitch from Bieber there. This is such a good test, too. Like, Bieber's a legitimate top of the rotation starter. He's not the Cy Young Award winner that he was in a short sample. That's a good take. That is a good take. That is a positive take from a hitter who can jump out of his hands, feet a little bit. But oh man, he just sees the baseball so well. Working a full count. Love to see that from your leadoff hitter. More important to get on base, but if you can do it while also getting a few pitches, that's lovely to see. 3-2. Swing and a miss for Julio. Shane Bieber's pretty good too. Dang. Really would have liked to have seen him get off to a rip-roaring start. Certainly not going to complain too much. I think your Braves played one of the worst baseball teams in baseball. Worst baseball teams in baseball. But yeah, good win. Great win. Bullpen was really good today for them. Outside of I think you'll always take 5 2/3 innings of shutout baseball from your bullpen. Closer situation's pretty interesting there with Iglesias on the shelf. I think AJ Minter is probably going to get the chances, although he pitched in a 5-run game today, so not 100% sure. Although I think he might have been warming up for a save situation. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there. But yeah, I think that Minter is probably going to be the guy. If we just clone Joe West, there's no way I'm having Joe East and Joe North and Joe South calling baseball games, Chad. I will not be happy if that happens. Colton Wong, 2-2. Got a really good pitch to hit there. Something I think he will be able to drive a little bit more. Yeah, the Daniel Bard news, Chad. And for those who aren't familiar, he's going on the injured list with anxiety. That sucks, man. And again, I feel bad because I talked a lot of not so nice stuff. Oh, here we go. Wong, deep drive, not nearly deep enough. Not even to the warning track. Got a good pitch to hit. Put some decent contact on it, but sorry about that. The Chad or the Daniel Bard situation is awful. Sucks. And I just hope that his mental health is going to get better because that's all that matters. That is all that matters. It's clear that he has to work through some stuff, and it's obviously worth pointing out, unfortunately, that this is a player who dealt with the yips flat out dealt with the yips. I just don't know if you can have him be the closer anymore, even when he comes back. But I'll be rooting for him. Hey, there's our first hit of 2023. Ty France with a nice little single. Really important, I think, for Ty France to get off to a hot start. Really think it's important. And now, after we ridiculed Colorado only for them to amaze us and actually get a deal done, they now potentially get nothing out of it in the end. Yep. That's really it. That's unfortunately a great point. I didn't criticize that deal because I didn't think it was insane, and their ownership was going to be just fine no matter how much they were paying Daniel Bard. But it doesn't look like a great contract now. Hindsight 2020 and all that stuff, but I think people just like making fun of the Rockies because they've earned the right to be made fun of. Hernandez is first at bat as a Seattle Mariner. I would love to see him get off to a good start too. Good take. Hernandez is going to frustrate the hell out of some people. He really is, because he's just makes so much hard contact, but his approach can be so lackluster. Is that the nice way to put it? Couple good takes there, though. Couple good takes there. So everyone is running to grab Brad Hand, but I'm curious about someone else in that pen. Ty Black, yeah. Could also see Dinelson Lamet getting some save stuff, although I think they may value him more as that every high leverage situation type guy more than being just like a traditional closer. But I have always loved Lamet's stuff. I have always loved Lamet's stuff. I'm going to give a quick little promotion to come on over to the chat so that we get some more. I'm happy with everybody who's here, but I want more people, baby. I need them. I need attention. Hi, come chat with me about the Mariner game. We're having fun. Love you. Okay. And I actually linked the wrong thing, but people will figure it out. If they want to be here, they want to be here. Yeah, it could be a quick ascent. I mean, Colorado's so bad that I don't think it really matters who they put in the closer position. I think they'll be better not having to play that division so many times. Bieber looked good today too, or today. Bieber looked good in that inning as well. So could be a low-scored one based on what I watched over these first couple of innings. Anybody know the Kraken score? Oh, thanks, Chad. I appreciate it. And by the way, some people might have noticed that I took the video down, and it had nothing to do with the not so nice comments. It had stuff to do with the fact that I didn't think about having a toddler in a YouTube video and without asking the parental permission. That was just real dumb of me. And so took that one down. It is what it is. Yeah, Benintendi would have made some sense for sure. I'm not a big that contract's ridiculous guy. I do think that has a chance to be not great. Oh, thanks, Chad. 1-0 Kraken. That's great to see. This is, by the way, I feel bad for people heading home because 17,000 people there, 45,000 people in 45,000 people in Safeco or T-Mobile Field. That's a long traffic day. I didn't get in the doghouse. I just got in the please don't do that. And they were 100% right. 100% right. I should have thought about it. Didn't. Just didn't. It was as you guys know with these videos who have watched, it's a spur of the moment thing for me, and I just didn't think about it. So won't be happening again, but it wasn't a great video anyway. It was just on the top 15 prospects, and somebody got real butthurt that I didn't know that somebody was using Tim Lincecum. Whoop-de frickin' do. Like that's the type of nonsense I personally don't care about with prospects. Like I get the personal story. That's cool, but that doesn't change how I view the prospect whatsoever. Like, good for you for having some information that you found on MLB.com, dude. Like, oh, it made me mad. Anyway, yeah, if that video went down, and if you have any questions about prospects, please let me know. I think it's definitely sold out. I think it is a late arriving crowd, and I think part of it is because of the fact that traffic was horrific. I think we'll see this start to fill out, but you can definitely tell just looking behind home plate that there's plenty of empty space here. So yeah, and maybe to the Kraken game too. I love the Kraken. There's a reason I bought this hat from Simply Seattle. Boy, look how dirty that thing is. Ew. Oh, I won't make you guys look at that again. Yuck. But there is certainly I love the Kraken. But if you're asking me if I can go watch them play the Ducks, who suck, or if I can go to opening day, pretty easy choice for me. If you love hockey, it's an easy choice for you too, especially if you love hockey more than baseball. I am not at that point. By the way, Josh Bell, who's worked the count full 3-2 here, loved that signing for them. And I think he would have made a ton of sense in Seattle. Be an awesome thing to do, but the Mariners want to do the rotating DH. There we go. Nice little easy play for Crawford. Not a great throw. Doesn't matter. Just easy out. Love to see easy outs in the early part of the game. It's nice to see it. Chad, do you happen to know who scored the goal for the Kraken? Hoping you say Matty Beniers, but I'll take anybody. Also, if you say Jared McCann, I'll be fine with that too. Hey, Matty B got a goal. I just saw on ESPN. That's great to see. I am a huge Matty Beniers fan, and a little bit is biased because I have a bunch of his rookie cards. And I think he could be a star. It's interesting to see, we talked about this no shift stuff. It's pretty clearly still happening. It's just limited, Yeah, thank you, Chad. 2-0. It's good to see. I want him to clinch a playoff spot. But this is clearly, playing towards somebody pulling the baseball. This is not going to be. I think what we'll see is we'll have more and more. It'll be just limited in going forward. And at some point, it'll just be a banned thing. But for now, it's not a ban. It's just limited. But you can clearly see here, like, this is not a situation the way they're defending Naylor, like something where he can't. He might have got it. Nope, not even close. Not even close. By the way, I am a terrible judge of fly balls on TV. Terrible. So if you see me overreact to something, so be it. It's fun. Opening day, baby. Opening day. By the way, Andres Gimenez hitting 5th tonight. Nope, 6th. Kind of weird. I'd want him to get more plate appearances, man. He's a really good player. I don't understand it. Maybe they don't feel comfortable at the top, or they just have such a loaded lineup, but I'd probably hit Jimenez ahead of Rosario, especially against right-handers. It's a weird one for me, but it could be a comfort thing. That Lindor trade is fun to look back on, especially with Cleveland signing him. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a kind of a brief, it was probably a win-win for both of them. It's probably a win-win for both teams. And, it would certainly help if some of the other players in that trade did a little bit better other than Castillo and Jimenez. But that's not bad. And Lindor hasn't been great. He's been good, but he hasn't been great. Nice little 1-2-3 inning. Love to see it. Now let's score some runs. Seattle Mariners score some runs. Mariners score some runs. I love baseball so much. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out and doing this with me. This is such a fun way to watch opening day. And I think we'll probably get more viewers when we're talking about the ALDS or stuff like that. But this is fun. I'm curious what everyone is drinking tonight. I will tell you that I am drinking something very fancy. It's called Mandarin Orange Clear American. Yeah. 72 cents a bottle. Can't beat it. No. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. The other thing you're going to see me do tonight a lot is this. Am I leaving you? Are you ascending? Am I ascending? No. I just have a standing desk. Oh, so I got to go up more? I do. This is great YouTube television. Eric, thank you for coming out. But yeah, I should have it in glass. And yes, this is the Walmart version of it. This is what they call it, at least on the West Coast, Chad, as they call it. It's clear American. And, you know, a lot of people like to drink their stuff with ice or whatever. Boy, that is really dark. Let's see if we can. Hope you can see my flashlight or my light a little bit. You're not here for the visuals. You're here to just chat with me and have some fun. But yeah, this will be nice for the standing desk portion because it's a comfortable chair, but man, I get tired of sitting after an hour. This is actually only 36 minutes this time, but it's nice to just kind of have that ability to stay on and, you know, microphone. How much has this microphone helped this channel, by the way, in a short time? If you say anything but a lot, you're lying. Oh, Cal, big dumper. Wow. Almost overran that. Dang it. Would have been nice. One out. Kwan's a pretty good outfielder. Not a great outfielder, but a pretty good outfielder. They are Cleveland's good. Really wish we could have started the season, and by we, I mean Seattle Mariners. With like, I don't know, Oakland. Why couldn't we play Oakland to start the year? Eugenio Suarez. Over or under 150 strikeouts. What do you think? I'm going to say over. I am definitely going to say over. All right. A line from today for your intrigue meter: 2 for 3, 2 runs, a double, a walk, and 2 stolen bases. Hey, there we go. We got our first extra base of the hit of the season from Eugenio Suarez. Yeah, Chad, tell me who that is. And I'll tell you that on the scale of 1 to 10 from an intrigue, knowing that baseball is a sport with a lot of volatility, I'm at a 7. I'm at a 7. I'm intrigued for you to tell me who that is, especially the 2 stolen bases part. Be very curious to see how many more stolen bases we have today, by the way. So that's interesting for a lot of reasons. Jae-Hwan Bae is somebody that I really liked a few years ago. Kind of stalled a little bit, and partially got stalled because some Pirates prospects rose where he kind of stagnated. So it has less to do with him than anybody else. But he's interesting. He's interesting. NL only for sure. Maybe in a deeper roster, taking a look. All right. Mr. Kelnick's up with a runner on second, taking a couple of pitches. I don't think you can overstate how important it is for him to get off to a good start. Can we go to the All-Star game, Nick? I'd love to go to the All-Star game. I'm 99% sure I'm going to be working during it, but I'd love to go watch some All-Star baseball. At the very least, I definitely will be going to the Futures game. Nick, if you want to come with me, I'll talk to you about it. Part of it will depend on if I can get credentialed. I'm pretty sure I can get credentialed. I'm a pretty big deal. But if I'm not credentialed, I'd love to go with somebody. That was a pitch to drive, Jared. That was a pitch to drive. Come on. Come on, JK. I don't love JK, by the way. But man, I'm excited for the All-Star game. I am so excited and nervous, even though the Mariners have done a great job with this stuff. So excited and so nervous. Great take. I'll get a runner to third. There you go. Predictions for Kelnick's season. I'm going to say 260, 25 homers, 17 stolen bases, something like that. Yeah, I mean, that I will take that. I could be better. Could be a lot worse. But yeah, I'll say something along that lines. The 260 part is actually what I'm the least confident about. just because he's not the hitter that we saw as a prep and a guy coming to the minors. He's much more about driving the baseball, and that's fine. But it's too bad to me because I saw a guy with a 70 grade hit tool, maybe better, and the swing change has just completely taken that out. Now, I do think the swing changes he's made now, that's not a strike, I don't think. That's disappointing. Love to see where that one is. Yep, good call. It's a good call. Yeah, and I think that's a great point, Chad. Like these pitchers who are not great at holding runners, they could be in for a world of hurt with these new rules. Just in for a world of hurt. And Kluber has always been one of those types of players. So here comes designated hitter Tommy La Stella. Designated hitter, the guy who is designated to hit and do nothing else in the Seattle Mariners lineup is Tommy La Stella. Oh boy. Hey, did he get? Nope. Not even close. Again, I get fooled on TV quite a bit. Quite a bit. In person, I'm really good at it. Not to humble brag, or to brag, but is Kluber the new Lester where you stream stolen base? Oh, that's a really good question. I'm not going quite that far, but he might be. The only thing is like, Chad, there's going to be so many of these types of players, I think. Stolen bases, this could be the wild, wild west, man. We could just see so many run attempts, and especially early on for guys who are just kind of testing things out. Yeah, this is not a World Series team if you're running La Stella as a DH. I 100% agree. Tommy La Stella is somebody who is cool to have on your roster as a backup third baseman, backup first baseman type. But if he's your designated hitter against right-handed pitching, I think that's problematic, man. I really do. I really, really do. And, I think that the one thing that you can say is it does represent an opportunity to improve. Like, there is no denying that the Mariners can't go, oh, we can't make a trade for somebody like this because we've got Tommy La Stella playing DH. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That at the very least is like, okay, this is where we can get better. We can get better at designated hitter. And even if it comes at the downfall of this rotating DH thing, so freaking be it, man. Give players days off. Add more depth. Add more depth. No law against it. So, yeah, I get the thought process behind being let's just not have a DH. Let's let this be the way to rotate through and give some guys some rest. But that only makes sense to me if you have a really good bench, and I don't think the Seattle Mariners do. Not at this point. Not at this point. Yeah. And, Goldschmidt is a guy who has, helped in that category, but he's not exactly somebody that I'm counting on stolen bases with normal rules, but we ain't playing with normal rules. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, please be okay, buddy. Okay, it looks like he's fine. For those not watching, Luis Castillo just ball went right up the middle. Let's see, make sure it avoided him. A horrible pitch, unfortunately. And it got him right in the hair. And there was a lot of hair to get. Man, that's scary. That is so scary. Whew. Actually, it wasn't as bad a pitch as I thought. But yeah, that ball was shellacked. Oh. Yeah, just didn't get his hand or glove up in time. So that's the first hit. They're checking him out to make sure he's good. He looks just fine. Very, very, very important part of the Seattle Mariners. So don't blame them for making sure. Exit velocity of 95.8 isn't like a late hard contact, but it's also pretty scary when you're that close to the mound, Man, it's the last thing they need. But most importantly, he looks just fine. He's good to go. He's good to go. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I think I was talking about the City Connect jerseys, by the way, earlier. I'm so curious. I've asked a bunch of people what they're going to look like. Um, oh, I didn't see what happened with Freed. I saw that he only went 3 1/3 innings, but was that an injury related thing or just not pitching very well? Because, hey, there's Mike. I hope everybody gave him a nice little ovation today. I've never seen a player rushed more, I think, in my life. Never seen it. Look at the patience of Mike Zunino taking 2 straight pitches right around. Oh, that's a strike. That is a strike. But when you've got a patient hitter like Mike Zunino who's walked 12 times in 1,000 at bats, you just got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Popped his hamstring running cover. Oof, loof. That is awful. Not exactly a super deep rotation right now either. They do have some talented young arms. Very curious to see what they do here. Ian Anderson. Mike Soroka might be ready in a little bit. That's a bad injury. I mean, there's no such thing as a good injury, but man, sounds like it's not long term. But for now, yeah, Todd Schuster definitely going to be in for sure. You got to keep him, but there's no choice. And I would guess Ian Anderson is the next guy up. Nice job. I love Mike Zunino. The amount of times I've seen him strike out on that pitch high and up is palpable. I mean, he just cannot help himself. God love him. He is going to swing the bat. And if you have something in the eyes, he is going to try and go get it. Be curious to see where they hit him all year. I'd be tempted to move him down to like 9 and just hope for the best and hope this defense plays well because this defense is great. How many wins will the Mariners have on 5-6? Chris, thank you so much for asking. I have no idea how many games they're going to play, but I will say they won't have lost a game by May 6th. So like 43-0, 27-0, something like that. Should be fun. Should be fun to watch them go undefeated until May 6th. And then the game that we will be going to, that's the one that they'll lose. You just know it. That's how life works. That's how life works. A couple of people asked me yesterday, by the way, about the or not yesterday, but a couple days ago, the tag for the Griffey jersey. Look, that's how my mom framed it. It's just the way it is. It looks weird, but I'm totally fine with it. Did you get to see any Pablo? Nope, but I heard it was really good as well. Gonna watch a bunch of these games right after I record the recap for this game. Gonna watch a bunch of stuff. I like Pablo Lopez. I like the Twins. I really, really, really like the Twins. It's a rotation of 2 to 3 starters to me. You could do a lot worse than that, and especially in a mediocre division. Question marks for Cleveland, who again I keep saying is good, but flawed. Everybody's flawed, I guess. Chicago White Sox, who knows? And then Kansas City and Detroit are bad. I'll do Minnesota winning that division. Yeah, that's a great point. That Royals lineup's not great. Certainly exploitable with some guys who aren't exactly the most patient at the plate. Oh, did I miss a great catch, Sophie? I'm going to have to check that out. I do like great catches. Is this going to be a catch? It sure isn't. Quan is such a tough guy to strike out. I know that says that's an understatement, but man, oh man, that is a guy. Doesn't matter what you're throwing, how far ahead of you are in the account. That's the one thing about him that you have to like. It's just that lack of power. That lack of power is just so volatile, I guess, for Wuss. Twins are your second favorite team? Guess what? Reflect the sun. The Twins are my second favorite team. And when I was a kid, they were my favorite team. As much as I love the Mariners, I kind of fell in love with baseball during the 1991 World Series. And I just love that team. Now, of course, if the Mariners play the Twins, I kind of rooted for the Mariners. But other than that, the Twins were easily the team that I cheered for. And it was a short thing because, the Mariners got good in 95 and I was a 12-year-old and I was quickly transfixed into that, but I really like the Twins. I still like the Twins, especially their uniforms. I was disappointed to see that they changed. A team that did not need new uniforms. All right, we stood up for long enough. Now you see my pretty Izod shirt. Izod, by the way, is German for fat guy. Not really, but might as well be. Oh, still got to go down some more. We're learning. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, what a great series that was, and what a time for me in my formative years to fall in love with baseball. I mean, you can't beat it, right? That series was so good. I still have a Homer hanky. My neighbor across the street was from Mankato, Minnesota, and he gave me a Homer hanky to celebrate the fact that I like the same baseball team as he. So nice job, by the way, of Castillo really bouncing back after almost having his head knocked off. that's a little bit hyperbolic, but it is nice to see. Now let's score some runs. We need the Seattle Mariners. It's very hard to win a game if you don't score any runs. It's if you can take one thing from this chat, that's got to be the one. That has got to be the one. Anybody else really impressed for you guys today? Again, I was paying attention, but it's hard when you're doing what I was doing today. There was so much going on, and again, pretty distracted by like all of the stuff that was happening behind me with John Stanton and Jerry DePoto and Andre Munoz being interviewed, and then me having to go on and talk for a couple, like 3 segments that were 5 minutes long. Yeah, I would imagine so. Those Homer hankies, man. You just watch the YouTube videos of people who are just, and of course, I had the Twins 1991 VHS tape that I watched over and over and over again. Fortunately, it looks like the Oilers are going to win, so that should lock Kraken into the first wild card. Yep. Hey, there we go. Little blooping base hit for Mr. JP Crawford. It's nice to get off to a start. Get off to a start. It's such a stupid thing to say. Everybody's getting off to a start. But it is nice to see him get on, even though that was a pitch that a power hitter would have hit about 700 feet. It's base hits are base hits. It's nice to see, and it's nice to see him get on for Mr. Julio Rodriguez. Like this J-Rod squad thing, by the way, really, the Mariners are so good at this stuff. There is a reason why they can frustrate you with some of their decisions, but at the same time, they're good at that. They're good at setting up stuff like King's Court and the J-Rod squad, and I wonder if they'll do anything with Big Dumper. Have some sort of Big Dumper section. That's I'm gonna don't get fired on the first chat, Chris. Don't get fired on the first chat. I'm still so frustrated by that what we had going on. For those who missed it, apparently you can't go live. Oh, is this no. Dang it. Dang it. Thought he had it. For those again not watching and just watching me. Very loud contact there from Julio, but out at the warning track. Dang it. Thought he had a shot. Gosh, he's strong. Nice little play from the center fielder as well, but dang it. Do we want to read into Poche, Adam Fairbanks going 7th, 8th, 9th? I think that's probably what you're going to see most of the time. I think it might get reversed every once in a while. I do think Adam is going to get some save chances. And I could see Fairbanks being like, if you've got 2, 3, 4 or something like that, maybe going into the 8th inning. But I think most of the time that's what you're going to see it be. You just can't count on anything with the Tampa Bay Rays. Can't count on anything with them. All right. Runner on first for Colton Wong behind 0-1. What do you guys think as Mariner fans, if anybody's out there? Would you rather have Wong hitting leadoff and Julio hitting second? I kind of would. I just want Julio to have more chances to drive in runs. And I'd rather have him, all due respect to JP Crawford, I'd rather have him drive in Wong as a guy who can get on. He's shown he can do it against right-handed pitching. I'd rather have him that, and you still get a plenty of at bats for Julio Rodriguez at the top of the lineup. Oh, this might be too. Hey, very poor defense, and the Mariners do have a runner at second base now instead of a double play on a little ground ball from Colton Wong. Give Ty France a chance to drive in a run. Second chance for the Mariners to hit with runners in scoring position, and I believe the third inning. That's not bad. Got to start scoring some runs, but I'll definitely take that. Definitely take that. Interesting that the Mariners apparently are not showing. Oh, there's some stats. They were just showing batting leadoff for Julio and batting third for Ty France, but there's the 1-for-1. France is an interesting one. Really, really struggled in that second half. And I think now they're more willing to say, yeah, he was injured. Because they were very much playing the he's not hurt. It's just he's going through some stuff. But yeah, that's not the case. That is not the case. You'd think you'd lead off Teo. Now, that's interesting. The only thing about Teo at leadoff, I do like the extra plate appearances, is that I do want somebody who's taking more pitches than he does. Yeah, I don't blame you. But I will say this, Chad. It just like look at his career stats, even look at what he did last year. Against left-handed or against right-handed pitching, he's pretty darn good. He does have a good history against him. From a fantasy perspective, I don't love him because he's not going to play against left-handers when Dylan Moore is healthy, and when he does play, he's god awful against them. Just atrocious, atrocious, atrocious against those options. But yeah, and if Julio's happy hitting leadoff, man, great. Julio can do whatever the hell he wants to do. If Julio comes to me and I'm Scott Service and they say, hey, I want to play third base and also be the seventh inning reliever. Cool. It's going to be weird, but if he wants to do it, he can do it. I think that's a little harsh, Chad. It's been like 35 years of wanting Wong to be a solid baseball player. I mean, I've been waiting for that fantasy breakout a little bit, sure, but like from a real life perspective, oh, I'd love to see Big Dumper as a leadoff man. I think that's a great call too because he sees a bunch of pitches. No, he's not going to steal any bases for you when you get on. Little ground ball up the middle, but that is right to Bieber. And we end the third inning with a 0-0 score. It's going by pretty fast though. 49 minutes to play. Actually, I think the game started probably at like 7:12 or something like that. So 42 minutes to play 3 innings. That's not bad. It doesn't bother me. They can play as long as they want. As long as I'm having a good time. Games can be 4 hours long, 5 hours long, but baseball is for everybody. It's supposed to be for everybody. And a lot of people hate those long games, hate them. So I don't blame them for doing what they can to make them a little shorter, but I like baseball. I just really like baseball. What's your Celestin prophecy? Wow, that kid looks great at 17. When will he make the show? Celestin Prophecy, by the way, sounds like an amazing band name. So I talked about this on the video that got deleted. He is the most talented player in the system by a large amount. He has a ton of risk for him because he's a 17-year-old who hasn't faced professional pitching. But I think you'll see him in the majors in 3.5 years. So the summer of 2026. and he has a chance to be a star. If you're drafting in a dynasty league, go get him. He's really, really good. Really, really, really talented. Just a ton of risk too. So if it's not a keep forever league, no, because if you have to give him up in a couple of years, yeah, no, absolutely not, because he's not going to be ready. By the way, per MLB lineup stands are going 3 different DHs in 3 games. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They love the rotating thing. I imagine you'll see Pollock in there. I imagine you will see, and I'm not looking at it. I'm just guessing here. Pollock, Tom Murphy, maybe against the left-hander. Um, you could see maybe Ty France getting a day off early. You could see Kelnick maybe getting a day off early. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but little ground ball, little quick little out. Nice to see. And once again, Ahmed Rosario, please take a pitch one day in your life. It's just so frustrating. He could be such a great player. He's a good player. So Chad says that Teoscar tomorrow with Pollock in the field and A. Eugenio with La Stella at third. Makes sense. Does. I mean, look, in an ideal world, Teoscar Hernandez would probably be my full-time DH because he's not a great defender. He's not abhorrent. He's not like, what the hell are we going to do? Everything's getting hit over his head, but he makes a lot of defensive mistakes. And if I could limit those and have an elite right fielder, sure, or not even an elite right fielder, an above average right fielder, an average right fielder, offensively and defensively, then yeah, Teoscar Hernandez would be my designated hitter. But they're going to need to play him in the field quite a bit because the outfield depth here is just not great. It's just not. It's you know, talented with those 3 guys in there, like offensively, Kelnick and Julio and Teo is very talented, very, very talented, and some success with Julio, obviously, and with Teoscar Hernandez having a lot of success. But Hernandez is not a great defender. It's made up for a little bit by the fact that Julio is so good defensively, and Kelnick is an excellent defensive left fielder. He's an excellent defensive right fielder too. So they're fine either position there, but in terms of defense, but ideally for me, Hernandez would be my DH. 1 and 2, 2 and 2 now. 1 out. Jose Ramirez. Nice to see a strikeout here. He's looked good so far. I got a little too much of the plate there, and he looks pretty upset about it too. Hernandez looks Ramirez looks pretty upset about it too. He kind of got a pitch to hit. Not going to miss a lot of those, but yeah. All right. 2-2 on the way. Lot of fouls. Lot of not super hard contact so far against him, other than the ball that tried to murder Castillo last inning. And even that wasn't hit that hard. Like 95 miles per hour is no joke, but thought he had him there. I still go back to that Jose Ramirez contract and wonder why, Jose? Why did you agree to that? It's okay. Marlowe will be up as soon as the control date passes. I am not so sure about that. Maybe as a 4th outfielder. What will they do with a White? Have the M's started drafting better? It doesn't like he'll hit much ever. So, yeah, they've drafted better. I don't think drafting's ever really been an issue under Dipoto, to be honest, which is kind of funny. Nice little line drive right at Teoscar. That'll do. That will do indeed. I think that the draft, even positioning of drafting White was fine. It's the fact that I think they put him at the wrong place, and also the decision to try to make him just a power hitter failed miserably. I think he's an elite defensive third baseman. Oh, there we go. Colton Wong, little ground ball, through 4 innings, scoreless baseball. Through 3.5 scoreless, 4 for Castillo. I'll take it. I will definitely take it. He looks like he's having fun out there too. He usually does. I really like him. I'd like to see the Mariners score some runs for him now. But yeah, Evan White, pretty much done. He might be a 26th man on your roster who, I think could handle the outfield just fine, and play elite defense at first if that matters to you. Should. I mean, to a point, it's not a bad thing to have on your roster, but he has to. Yeah, you can't be a backup first baseman and not hit, man. You can't. You have to provide some offensive upside. You can't just be like a great glove at first and hope that you can be on a roster. That's not how anything works, to quote my good friends from those Facebook commercials. He's got to hit, and I don't think he's going to. So you're not going to be able to trade him with his contract right now. You just basically hope that he can figure out. Muller and Ohtani in an absolute duel right now. Good for Kyle Muller, man. I know we all gave them a bunch of what because he was their opening day starter, but good for him. I hope he has a good year. I hope the A's are better than I think they are going to be. I don't think they are, but I hope that it becomes a better situation for those fans, man. They deserve better. I know they haven't come out in droves. Would you come out to that ballpark for that baseball team? No, you would not. Do not lie to me. Don't you lie to me. It's an awful situation. And as of today, he's no longer a prospect. It's funny how that works, isn't it? Just the service time game can be a funny one, and he's a real boy now. He's a real boy. Let's see. Diamondbacks and Dodgers tied at 2. Padres leading 2-1 over the Rockies. I think that's really it that's going on right now. Mariners and Guardians scoreless, as we all know. Bottom of the 4th. Interesting. Yeah. Ohtani looks like he is throwing a no-hitter, maybe a perfect game. They got him. Hernandez almost beat something out, but he didn't. No, he's issued 1 walk. 41 pitches, 23 strikes, 4 strikeouts, 3 no-hit innings. 1 for 2 at the plate. It's just stupid. Yeah, I mean, look, he's been on him for an awful long time, it seems like. He does seem like a guy who has been around for a while. Ooh, Big Dumper just took a big cut. Big cut. Scary thing here, these two teams are pretty similar because they are teams that have, I think the Mariners have a leg up on their rotation between the Guardians. But man, as good as the Mariners bullpen is, I think I have to give Cleveland the benefit there. They've got a ton of really, really good options and options that can get you. Oh, there we go. That'll be unless the greatest play in history is made. There you go. Big Dumper, first hit of the season. And it went off of Bieber. He looks like he's okay. We hate to see injuries, folks. We just don't want to see people have knocks, especially the first game of the year, man. That's got to be, if you leave with an injury like Fried had to do today, that has to be so frustrating. Taking a look to see who's doing well for the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks tonight while we wait for another pitch. Will Smith, 2 for 2, a couple RBIs. Like to see it. Miguel Rojas with a hit and a run. Diamondbacks, we've got Christian Walker with an RBI. And it looks like, and Gabriel Moreno with a sacrifice fly. I think Moreno's going to have a good year. I do. And also, I think that's interesting that Corbin Carroll hit 7th today. Left-hander and a very good one. So I kind of get it from that point. Interesting to see Kyle Lewis hit in the leadoff. We love our Kyle Lewis, don't we, folks? Unfortunately, he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, but I hope he has a big year. I just really do. I'm not counting on it, but I really hope he does. Really hope he does. Ronaldo reminding White Sox fans he's still Ronaldo. Yeah. I sure hope Robbie Ray developed another pitch or can work through those 1 bad innings much better. I mean, that's the key for Ray is going to be, can he avoid It wasn't so much walks and there's a very easy double play. Shoot. Very, very easy double play. So we end the fourth inning, no score. Uh, he- Ray just could not avoid the self-inflicted damage of bad command. His control was okay. The command was bad. I think what I saw from Ray though during spring training suggests that he's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to his season, man. He looked so good in the Cactus League. And for most of last year, too, he looked really good. Did he look like the 2021 Cy Young Award winner? No. But did he look good for most of the year? A guy that you would be just fine as your second starter? In my personal opinion, for most of the year, yes, he did look like that guy. Yeah, Kyle Lewis, I mean, he's had Brad breaks since he unfortunately became a pro. It sucks. It really sucks because like we were talking about a guy who is so talented that he looked like a five-tool player when he was at Mercer. And unfortunately, he has the leg injury during, I believe, his first professional season and fairly early into it as well. It has just dealt with injuries ever since. And he's had some success. I mean, look, this guy literally won Rookie of the Year in the truncated 2020 season. But I really hope he can stay healthy, man. I'll be rooting for that guy hard. And yeah, that's a great point, Chad. He does. He does sound like a guy who really wants to prove some people wrong. To prove some people wrong. And it's funny too, because it's like we talk about Robbie Ray like he's like 37 or 38. No, he's still a relatively young pitcher. There's still plenty left in that arm. I have very little concerns about Robbie Ray for the 2023 season, mainly because he doesn't have to be the ace of the staff. He doesn't even have to, maybe he doesn't even have to be the second best starter. So we shall see. Yeah, that sucked, man. I mean, there was just a bunch of stuff that went wrong. And the being beamed in the head obviously was not ideal. But I just root for the kid. I just root for the kid. All right, I'm gonna promote this again just because people get on late and stuff, and I want more people to come and say hi. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you've had some fun. We've watched some good baseball. We've watched some low scoring baseball, but it's been, fine. Um, I've had a good time. See, even there, like that fly out right there is a pretty good example of Teoscar's defensive issues. Yeah, he ended up making the play just fine. Did not look to me like he necessarily judged that baseball too well. He is not going to be, even as a good athlete, somebody who wins a bunch of awards for his defense. It can be problematic. It can be problematic. I think Blue Jay fans are well aware that there are times that things aren't so great. But it's nice to get an out. Whew, look at the life on that fastball. Still throwing 95. Nice to see. Fifth inning. I haven't seen how many pitches he's thrown yet. 60. Imagine you can get at least through this inning and next inning. Maybe you could get 7 out of him. It depends on how quickly he works. I would not love going 7 innings in that first start. Pitch count's more important than innings, but definitely something to keep an eye on. There's another strikeout. Excellent first start. Excellent. Hunter Green, how did he do today, Chad? I didn't get a chance to see. I'm sure he threw hard. And yeah, Austin Meadows is somebody that I honestly think is going to have a nice rebound season. He dealt with so much crap last year. So much crap. I think he's going to be much, much better in 2023, if only because I'm not sure it can be worse than 2022. Nice little play by JP. Nice little inning for Castillo. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Guardians 0. Mariners 0. Will somebody please score a run? I want to go to bed at some point tonight. He popped 105.2. Hunter Green threw a fastball 105.2 miles an hour. Googly moogly. I mean, if anybody's going to do it, I would say it would be him or Munoz. Holy crap on a crack. Or maybe Ben Joyce now. But like, that's so hard. 105 miles per hour. 105.2 miles per hour is why I'm okay with banning the shift. Because I guarantee, look, does he have the most fastball life on his heater? No. But it's still really hard to say, oh, it's a 105 mile per hour pitch. All you got to do is slap it the other way. Good flipping luck. Good luck. That is why these pitchers throw too hard with too much movement. It is unfair that basically they've created a system where hard contact against that type of great pitches can't be rewarded. So that is why I am totally fine with it. Totally fine with this limiting the shift. Hope Haniger has a good season too with all his bad breaks. Now that, yeah, it sucks, man. I'm so glad he at least got the bag this offseason. Not the bag he necessarily deserved. I think he could have been at a much bigger contract a couple of years ago, but did definitely get a nice little payday that, will take care of him for a while. So that's great to see. But man, I just want to see him have a great, healthy year because he's kind of important for the Giants too. That Giants lineup is not great. Not great. All right. There you go. That's me once again clicking on the wrong button and hearing a replay of me. And now I'm going to promote this thing real quick. What should I say, guys? I am still chatting live over on my YouTube page. Come on over. Oh, it's been fun. I was going to say the water's fine, but that's weird. There we go. All right, JK. 1-2 count. Too many of those over the last ever for Jared Kelnick. He's got to be a guy who's doing a better job of getting ahead. I want MLB to add a skills comp to all. Oh, there you go, Jared. There you go, Jared. A nice little base hit. We love to see it, folks. I want MLB to add a skills comp to the All-Star festivities and have the pitching version of the hardest shot competition and give us Green versus Duran versus Clase versus Joyce versus Gaston. Not a bad idea. Never going to happen because nobody wants their pitchers throwing super hard for an exhibition thing. I'd love to see it. The other thing I would love to see is like a catcher stolen base type competition, like best arms versus the fastest guys. Never going to happen again because there's just too much risk of injury, but I think that would be neat. Yeah, we love to see Mr. Kelnick get on base, don't we? It's just so important this year, man. It's so important. It's important for me too, because I need to see. Oh, there we go. Mr. Kelnick with a stolen base. We love to see it, folks. So now we've got a runner on second, a 1-1 count. Don't think that the Mariners would have LaStella bunt here, but no, you can't bunt here. Can't bunt here this early in the game. Not with your designated hitter. The designated hitter, Tommy LaStella. Oh, it's so weird, man. It's just so weird to me. Partially because, like, Tommy LaStella is just not very good anymore. And I grew up watching the greatest designated hitter of all time. All time. Edgar Martinez is the greatest designated hitter of all time. I don't want to hear any guff from anybody here. He's the best. There we go. That'll get the runner to third at least, but that is an out. A little ground ball to first base. So runner at third, 1 out for Mr. J.P. Crawford. You can say that's getting the job done. I technically very much disagree with you. It's getting a job done, but it's not getting the job done. The job is to get on base and to advance runners. Let's see. So Bieber's at 61 pitches. Be curious to see how aggressive they go with him early on as a guy who did have some injuries at some point in his career and it's a massive part of their success going forward. So I imagine he's probably in for 6 tonight too, even if he only throws 70, 80 pitches, something like that. 1-1, 0-1 pitch inside. I imagine they're going to try to bust Crawford in on his hands here. Knock the bat out of his hands, something, that we have seen happen a few times in his career. That's for sure. Yeah, Chad, I love the idea. I think it would be so fun. Maybe something that I would love to see before the season or after the season, just because I think at the midway point, they're so weird about stuff. Although they're weird about stuff after the year too. They're just weird. Baseball is weird about protecting stuff. I don't blame them necessarily, but they are cautious. There's a reason why we didn't see a bunch of the American WBC guys added to a roster, because the insurance stuff on these things is absolutely crazy. 3-1. What are you throwing Crawford here? Throwing him a fastball inside. He got a slider that was right down the middle of the flipping plate. He swung through it. Come on, JP. That's a pitch you got to drive, bud. Oh, that's a really bad pitch. He got away with one there. All right, so full count. Still a runner on third. In the late innings, I'll be very curious to see. Well, you can't do it really now. You need Crawford's defense out there. But ideally, honestly, JP Crawford wouldn't be my starting shortstop if I'm being blunt. Ground ball to first base, and that does not get the job done. He made some hard contact, but right at the first baseman, that will not do it. So now it's up to our sweet, sweet Julio to score the first run of 2023. That wasn't a horrible swing, and he did make some decent contact, but be nice to see him drive the crap out of that pitch he got on 3-1, because that was a bad pitch. Bad pitch. All right, Julio. What you got? Oh, great stop by Zunino. I have seen him do that an awful lot. As frustrating as he can be with the bat, man, he's good at picking it. Really nice play. Really nice play. Julio is 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout on a really good slider and a fly out that thought he might have got it at first. And here's another drive that's right at the right fielder. I don't like swearing, but I'm going to say a swear word. Shit. Darn it. Go to the top of the 6th. No runs. Oh, my grandma, I guarantee, is furious about this. She hates zeros. Like, if the Mariners are going to lose, at least let it be where at least one of the teams scored a lot of runs, hopefully both. She loves offense. I don't blame her. Offense is fun, but man, she hates zeros. I'm going to actually see if she sent me a text. Nothing yet. Maybe she doesn't love me anymore. I know that's not true. So I got almost 100% of shares of Adley, and a popular end of draft pairing for me was O'Hop. How worried should I be that he only made it out of camp because Stassi got hurt? Relatively worried, I guess. I don't really. I think he was being a little bit service timed, but it is weird that he didn't just have that job, because Max Stassi is not great. It's at least a little bit concerning. At least a little bit. Not like I'm not overwhelmingly concerned, because I think he can play well enough. And if you have to drop O'Hop, are you really that upset? Is it really that big of a deal? You know what I mean? I think it's a perfectly cromulent pairing, mainly because I think Adley is a star, and it doesn't really matter who your backup catcher is going to be. He's so good. In a 2-catcher thing, I would be concerned, because I do know some people who took O'Hop is a second catcher in leagues, and I'm not sure if he's just for this year. I like him long term, but for this year, I'm not sure if I'm in love with it. So I'd be relatively worried. I'd be looking for being prepared anyway to make that switch, and just thanking goodness that you have Adley Rutschman. So good, so good. All right, top of the sixth, and we're facing Zanino, Straw, and Quan, I believe. That's, I mean, yeah, a baby version of Adley. I guess O'Hop could be something along those lines. And this is more um compliment to Adley than insult to O'Hop. I just think in terms of catchers, the only one I think who is as talented as him is Real Muto. And even that is just based on some reverence for what he's done in his career. Will Smith is kind of close, I guess. Salvador Perez's power is interesting, but Adley Rutschman's talent is like he has a chance to be a Hall of Famer. And Mike Zunino has struck out. To quote my good friend Suspendus Barbecue, Mike Zunino, your strikeout is good. I'll root for you every other game. I really do hope he got, if anybody's in the chat can tell me if he got a nice ovation or not. I hope he did, because he definitely gave it his all with the Seattle Mariners. It is not his fault that it didn't necessarily work out here. Miles Straw. Fun name. Not really. I have, I'm kind of curious to see what he can be like as a stolen base guy this year. Not drafting him or having him on my fantasy roster, but I think he's interesting. He's a solid defender in center field. And I really don't want to have to pivot to Fountain of Youth, finding Bethancourt as timeshare mate and former man crush Francisco Mejia. I have struggled to get rid of, to not give up on Mejia myself. It's been tough. Nice little play there by Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh, very, very good. Very, very, very good player. Gosh, I don't think we talk enough about how good of a player Cal Raleigh is. Like, I think if, and we're just talking real life here, not fantasy for a second or whatever. I think he could be like a top 5 catcher in baseball right now. His defense is so good. His power is so good. Like, yeah, the average is always going to frustrate a little bit because he strikes out so much. But he's going to hit for power. He's going to get on base. He's going to be an excellent defensive player. He's a solid framer while that still matters. Man, I think, and I'll tell you this too. If I'm Gerard Dipoto, who I got to meet today, as some of you saw, I think the picture, got to shake his hand. Very nice guy, was willing to take a selfie with me. Very handsome. I think we all knew that, but enough about me. If I am Dipoto, I am trying to get Raleigh to sign an extension ASAP. Like, yeah, you got Harry Ford, you got some stuff. I want Cal Raleigh to be a part of my organization for a long time. And I think Raleigh knows that, and his representatives knows that as well. Should be an easy can of corn for Mr. Julio Rodriguez. 6 shutout innings for my 2023 Cy Young Award pick, Luis Castillo. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Mariners, nothing. Guardians, nothing. Just the one hit so far for the Guardians, and it was hit hard. He got Charlie Brown, but where am I going again? What's happening? Why am I leaving you? Oh, standing desk time. This is so great. I cannot tell you how much I love this desk. Even though, the shadows are pretty bad, and if we were talking about a professional YouTube channel, this would not be ideal. Man. Yeah, Chad Mejia's development was absolutely ruined. Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of weird. The Padres are a really good team and have a really good uh like build, and they've made some good draft picks. I'm not sure they're great at player development. Like Tatis, yeah, give him some credit for that. But like the rest of it, hey, RBI for Ohop. Good to see. Good to see. I got to be honest with you guys too. I'm kind of rooting for the Angels this year. I can't watch Trout and Otani get wasted. I can't. I can't. I cannot. I cannot do it. So if they're gonna be bad, trade at least one of them. But I can't watch these two players not go to the postseason again. I can't do it. Hunter Gaddis tomorrow for the Guardians, by the way. That'll be interesting to see. So, guy the Mariners should hit pretty well. Should hit pretty well. That's he's not an abhorrent, he's not a terrible arm by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that's somebody the Mariners should score some runs against. Almost hit Wong. I'll also be curious to see how patient they are with Wong if he gets off to a poor start. Um, Not exactly a ton of great options behind Wong. Dylan Moore, when healthy, sure, but somebody I think you want to play more against left-handers. I'll be curious to see how long they're willing to hit him at the top of the lineup. I do not think it's a mistake to have him hitting second now, because again, he's crushed right-handed pitching for most of his career. But I wonder how patient you can be. Yeah, I would imagine Gaddis does have a low leash, a very short leash, Chad. That is a good point with Curry on the roster. You have certainly a multi-inning guy ready to go if he is not pitching well. It's a really good take there by Wong. It's a really good breaking ball there by Bieber, but an even better take by Wong. Yeah, I would imagine that Wong has a relatively long leash. Like if he's really struggling in like the end of April, beginning of May, maybe you start to talk about moving some guys up and moving him down. Also going to depend a little bit on how he is defensively. He was bad defensively last year. Love Sam Haggerty. Hope he can have a great year. I love Sam Haggerty too, but I do think he is much better as that bench option, that guy that can just help you out in the little spurts. Not somebody I want to see playing every day. And obviously, we're just counting down the days to bit. Yeah, Tanner Bibby is a very interesting arm. If Daniel Espino can get on the mound, I'm very curious to see how he will do. Hey, and that's ripped right to the first baseman. Some hard contact from the Mariners tonight that just has not been rewarded, which is frustrating, but it's nice to see hard contact off of a guy as good as Shane Bieber. But you got to start scoring some runs here. You can't waste a start like this from Castillo. Can't do it. Cannot do it. I refuse. I refuse to quote Paramore. Just checking the Kraken score real quick. 2-0 still. Love to see it. Wonder if some people are starting to make their way from there to back to Safeco. I'm going to always call it Safeco, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'll call it T-Mobile when I remember to as well, but be curious to see because that's not a great matchup. I love the Kraken, but I'd much rather be watching this than the 75th game of the hockey season against a team that has no shot. Pretty good drive there from France. Oh, that went off the wall. There we go. That was pretty darn close. So France just did a double off the wall. Maybe he did not. Him and his He complains about his 11th grade speed on MLB The Show. I think it's pretty justified. Very slow baseball player. Really bad pitch, middle. Nice to see him drive it opposite way. Ooh, he just missed a home run there. That ball really carried. Now let's take a look. He's sliding in. He's safe. Yeah, he can't overturn that. Can't disappoint that. I was disappointed that we went from having the best farm club to only one or maybe two players now in the top 100. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the one thing you got to keep in mind there is like, imagine if George Kirby counted and Julio Rodriguez obviously being the best example. Imagine if those guys counted. Like, this would be the number one system by a long shot. You've graduated so many guys, and you still have some talented players. And players like Celestin and Lazaro Montes could be next, and Cole Young as well. And that's what we're talking about with Teoscar Hernandez. That is never a strike, buddy. So yeah, you look at the farm rankings and you say, it's not a great group right now. But you have so much young talent. Like, in terms of players under the age of 25, I think they compete with anybody. That I think it's okay to not have a great farm system. It'd be great if if the Mariners were the Dodgers and you just had player after player after player right now. And maybe they get to that point at some point, but they're not there yet. But there are some quality players on the farm, and I think the most important thing is that so many of the building blocks for the Mariners are young players. Like Cal Raleigh, again, a guy who's in his second full professional season. Not a prospect. That'll get the runner to third, but with one out, that doesn't help you very much. Hernandez, weak little ground ball to second base. Ty Francis at third. And I believe that we will now see Big Dumper come to the plate. This is a big moment. Big moment. Ton of guys left and runners in scoring position. The Orioles system's really good. The Diamondback system's really good. There's a lot of really good systems that are much better than the Mariners, to be honest, right now. But yeah, Baltimore and Arizona are just stacked with guys. Stacked. And stacked with talented young players like Adley Rutschman, not a prospect. Cubs pitching depth is insane. Yeah, I like the Cubs pitching depth. I'm not quite as in love with everybody else, but there's a ton of talented arms, a ton of guys who I don't think are aces, but I think have a chance to be really solid starting potential guys. Yeah, I would disagree with that, Chad. I don't see 5 potential aces. I do think that there are 5 guys who have a chance to pitch mid-rotation or better. Some of this is I'm not as in love with Ben Brown as everybody else. And yeah, so you're absolutely right. The Mariners do have to draft better. And Big Dumper is not happy with that, and he shouldn't be. He should not be. There's a fly out to Quan, and we are through 6 innings of baseball. Seattle Mariners, nothing. Cleveland Guardians, nothing. It's frustrating. Want to see some runs. Don't want to see it from the Guardians, if I'm being completely honest with you, but I want to see some runs. Want to see some people score some baseball runs. Especially with how well Castillo's pitched tonight, man. Curious to see if he's coming back out there. Again, I'm watching the game on mute, so I did see that Matt Brash was warming up. So possible that we see him now, but that will be interesting to see. I think you have to be awfully happy from the effort you got from Castillo tonight. I called Horton, Ferris, and Palencia the next match. Wow. I mean, that's shoot your shot, Chad. I mean, look, if they end up that's going to be awesome. But I'm a little more, that looks more like a, to quote from this, that looks more like a Gilbert, Kirby, Bryce Miller, which is very good, but that's not 3 Hall of Famers. But I like your shot shooting. I like it. Aggressive. Horton could be really interesting, especially. Could be really interesting. Yeah. I did not miss commercial breaks. I don't watch a lot of them because most of what I'm watching is stuff that does not have commercial breaks. Don't necessarily miss this too much. Oh, the way they're talking about Castillo makes me wonder, or the highlights I'm showing of Castillo makes me think this might be his last inning, or it might have been his last inning. Really good start if that's the case. Really good. Really good. But you know what? He wasn't able to get a win, so couldn't have been that good, right? What a dumb stat. What a dumb stat. So 6 innings, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts. Looks like they say 78.8% of pitches for first strikes is excellent. Let's see if this guy can throw strikes. Because it's the one concern I have about Matt Brash. Talented as anybody in the world. But man, he struggles to throw strikes. Who do you think will be the first farm club player for the Rainiers, basically, or other that moves up to the bigs? It's a good question. Not clouding some rehab guys, which I imagine more will get a chance to do that. So he could be it. I'll go Marlowe. I think Cade Marlowe is probably the first guy up. It's going to depend probably on, what's going on with the roster. Do they want to carry 13 pitchers? Even when Brash misses by a lot, the ability to just dazzle with that slider, man. It is such a nasty pitch. Whew, that is unhittable. For folks who are watching the game, that slider from Matt Brash is 80 grade. That is an 80 grade slider. Holy crap on a cracker. I have no idea how anyone hits that pitch. And the answer is they don't. That is unbelievable filth. Imagine if he could throw enough strikes to be a starter. Man, he's fun. And he is somebody that it would be really hard for me to trade him. Just because I think even if he can't start, the value he can provide as a multi-inning guy with that kind of swing and miss stuff, even if the command frustrates the hell out of you, man, I just couldn't trade him. I couldn't. I talked a lot about, like, for those of you who have watched the videos before, that, like, I would probably trade Kelenic for Brian Reynolds if that was presented to myself. Oh my gosh. What a sword that almost was. 2-1 on Jose Ramirez. This is such a great little litmus test for him as well. As high leverage as it gets in a tie game facing the best hitters of the Cleveland order. But yeah, I would struggle to include him in that type of deal. I would certainly want to. Hunter Renfroe making a nice catch. I'll definitely be checking that out as well. Hunter Renfroe has also made a lot of great catches for the Oakland Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders. It's great to make a terrible joke and then get it completely wrong. It's late, folks. And I will be honest with you, I am very tired. Very tired. I woke up at about 7 to make sure I was ready for the radio stuff, but behind the back leaping, no look, geez. So I see a lot of those on like Facebook reel things. Oh my gosh. Matt Brash just made Jose Ramirez look like a damn fool with an unbelievable slider. Oh my goodness gracious. Now that was never a strike, but holy crap. I mean, the fact that this guy might be the third best reliever on the Mariners is sick. That is so fun, man. Matt Brash is just special. All right, it's sit down time again. Can you guys hear the desk going down? I'm sorry if you can. I'm not that sorry, but yeah, I don't know how you hit that. I really don't know. Like, that is just bonkers good pitching. Just bonkers. Just bonkers. I got to tweet something about it. And of course, I hit the wrong button. Like, you heard me say bonkers there? I'm not sure if you can hear when I accidentally click on it or not. Man, so impressive. So impressive. Okay, good. Thank you. It's good to know just because it's very loud for me. Um, I did not see how that runner reached first. I imagine it was something bad. I have to take a look. So one runner on, two outs, 1-0 count. Josh Naylor at the plate. He, like pretty much everybody else, is 0 for the night. Did he go? He did. 1-1. Naylor's kind of interesting for this year, I think. Has shown some flashes, frustrating. Uh, I think he can be a decent MLB player for the next few years, but base hit hard over second baseman Wong. Gotcha. Thank you. I can't believe somebody hit him. That'll did it done. Very nice. Other than the hit, very nice inning from Brash. Take a couple strikeouts. You know, we don't love that he's from Canada, but we got to do what you got to do. So, be curious to see if they leave Brash in for another inning or if they make the move to um, one of the high leverage guys. You know, you could think you're still saving Munoz at this point. Guess you could go Seawald next. You could go another inning from him. You could go Diego Castillo. There's some fun toys. He took a 98-mile-per-hour brash fastball on his first real mistake, and he left it in the upper middle. Yeah. Again, command is not great for him. Stuff sick, but the command, not so much. Still has some work to be done there. Still has some work to be done there. Somebody on YouTube asked me, should he stay in the bullpen? And yeah, I think so. I think so, especially for what the Seattle Mariners have right now. And the fact that he didn't get built up as a starter because of the World Baseball Classic. Wow, I don't know if that was English. Because of the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, I'm leaving him in relief. I might give it a shot next year, like in the first normal spring training we've had. I keep hearing people say, and I was actually guilty of it at first, like, oh, it's our first normal spring training. Now, I love the World Baseball Classic, but it definitely meant that you did not have a normal spring training. Like, you can't call it that. So many players left teams for multiple weeks. I can't call it a normal spring training. Is Munoz going to be our closer this year for the most part? I don't know. I really don't. I would love clarity on that situation as a fantasy manager, as somebody who has Munoz on a bunch of his rosters. Being selfish, yeah, I'd love to know if he's the closer. But I think it's really just going to kind of come down to what they feel like gives the Mariners the best chance to win. And I think they do feel confident in Paul Sewald in that role. And they feel confident with Andre Munoz in that role. And they feel confident with Diego Castillo every once in a while in that role. So I made on my prediction thing that I do think that Munoz is going to lead the team in saves. But that doesn't mean he's going to be a 30 save guy. I think he might be a 23 save guy, and Munoz is a 17 save guy, and Castillo is a 7 to 8 save guy. So, yeah, leading, but I just don't know if he's going to get like the save chances of some of the other closers, like Emmanuel Clase. Clearly, the closer going to get the overwhelming majority of save chances for Cleveland. Ryan Presley, even though I just saw on the box score, wasn't very good today, he's going to get the overwhelming majority of save chances for Houston. Jordan Romano, overwhelming save chances for Toronto. But the Mariners, I think, are going to play mix and match. And it's frustrating, but it's frustrating only from that fantasy perspective. it is a perfectly reasonable strategy for the Mariners to use Munoz, who is their best reliever, in the situation that is best for the team. All right, Eugenio Suarez has worked a 2-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. I see Paul Sewald warming up in the bullpen. Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. And Rafael, but I still would guess, oh my goodness gracious. Eugenio Suarez swings through an 85-mile-per-hour pitch. Yeah, Abreu, and I can see Montero getting some save chances as well. But if you're going to ask me how many save chances Ryan Presley gets on the year, I would guess 40. I would guess 40 pretty easily. But that's fair. They do have some bullpen depth. But I would guess that he's pretty locked into the role. We'll see. All right, one out for Mr. Kelnick, who was 1 for 2. Struck out in his first at bat, made some nice contact with a base hit, and also stole a base. 0-1 count. Good take. 1-1. How nice would a home run here be? It's more a case that I think if Abreu gets to the role, he could run away with it. Fair. But I also think Houston, being as analytical as anybody, maybe realizes that Abreu is more valuable into that role. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Get out of play. Yep. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was a very familiar pop-up there, but luckily it got out of play. That's the key for me, man, is Kelnick, if he can just drive the baseball on a more consistent basis. And it sounds simple, but there's just been so much weak contact on top of the strikeouts. It's nice to see already a hit today. I think you can call that a successful day, but I'd like to see it be a little more successful. 2-2. This is another arm, by the way, that Cleveland, who the last time I looked was closing in on an extension. I don't know if that's become official just yet. Really nice arm to have. Really nice arm to have. There are just so many guys for this Cleveland team that would be elite options for other teams. And that's true for the Mariners as well. But I think Cleveland might have my favorite bullpen. Yeah, it's really good. Good take there. Kelnick has worked a full count. We like to see it. We like to see patience at the plate from Mr. Kelnick. Assertive is what we're looking for here. Not passive aggressive. We are looking for Jarred Kelnick to look for his pitch. And did he get his pitch? Nope, he sure didn't. Fly ball to center field. Out. Got a good pitch to hit too. Shoot. Mariners are going to watch, I think, the replay of this game and say, man, did we make some, that is middle. Mariners have missed a ton of opportunities in this game. Frustrating. Early. It's early. Unfortunately, the game's still tied because Castillo and Brash have been so good to start, but Tommy La Stella, designated hitter, does not get a hit. We go to the 8th inning. Mariners, nothing. Guardians, nothing. Paul Sewald, wearing Sean Alexander's number, is coming in to pitch. Wish I had like sponsors so I could give you commercials. Just be like, do you like dog chow? Purina's the best dog chow. I don't. Nobody's sponsoring this stuff. Be fun if it was. I've heard they are working on Rosario too, which really makes me think they plan to move Rocchio at the deadline. Yeah, makes a ton of sense. You got to get these guys playing time, man. It doesn't make sense to just have Rocchio wasted. Can see that we upgraded our offense at all this year. Really going to be a lot of frustration. They didn't add a great bat. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a little better offense than last year in terms of guys who are going to be better than last year. But I was on the record that I really wanted to improve at shortstop and designated hitter, and they did neither. So they improved in right. I do think Hernandez is an upgrade over Haniger, as much as I love Haniger. Part of that is availability. But I do think that there are going to be times where this offense really frustrates as a young team. It's a team that strikes out a whole heck of a lot. Hey, Adam Frazier and Torres, that's enough grade by subtraction. Fair. And you did say some awfully mean things earlier, Chad, about Colton Wong, but you got to admit that Colton Wong's going to be better offensively than Adam Frazier was last year. And I will say this for Adam Frazier, he has two of the biggest hits in Seattle Mariner history. So thank you for those, Adam. But boy, oh boy, you were just awful last year. Just were not a very good player. Just didn't work out whatsoever. Good defense. Oh, this is my first look at the Judge homer. I didn't get all of it, but still unbelievable. Just so strong. So flippin' strong and tall. Just ridiculous. Wong should definitely be better than Frazier. If he's not, that will be a little bit of bad luck for the Seattle Mariners because Wong was a perfectly fine offensive player last year, especially against right-handed pitching. Him and Moore should make a perfectly solid, maybe even above average second base platoon. All right, Paul Sewald pitching to Andres Jimenez. Going to see a lot of sliders, I think. I think Sewald might be the guy who I'm the most concerned about for this bullpen. Didn't look great to me at the end of the year, although I will say he didn't look great at the end of the year. And there is a nice play by Mr. Suarez for out number one on a fly out into foul territory. He did look great against Houston in that final game. Every pitcher did, but he did look pretty good in that final game. So that was nice to see. But even towards the end of the year, and then a couple of appearances against Toronto, or I think it was just a one experience against Toronto, but it didn't look good. He did not look good at the end of the year to me. So he's not a spring chicken anymore. Does not have elite fastball stuff. He's really relying on that slider. So he's the one guy I'm a little bit worried about, but by worried, I mean, we're just talking about not an elite reliever. I think he'll still be very, very solid. And off to a nice start here. 0-2. Starting to get the burps. That's very weird. I have no idea. Have not eaten anything since 12 o'clock today. Very odd. Maybe it's my delicious and hardly drinking Mandarin Orange Clear American. So good. So actually disgusting, but I'm addicted to heck like to them. Everybody has that drink that they know isn't all that good, but they still can't help but drink it. All right. Still 0-2. Brendan's kind of an interesting option for Cleveland as well. They like him a lot. I know from talking to some folks. I think he's more of just like a utility guy, but maybe one who can hit. Kind of a left-handed version, a little bit similar to Ty France. And there is a very, very nice pitch. Swing and a miss. We have 2 outs. The pitching has been outstanding tonight. Both teams, but man, very, very nice pitch there from Sewald. Very good depth. Comes out of his hand late. Can't ask for much better than that. This is such a mismatch on paper, Mike Zunino versus Paul Sewald. So if Zunino hits a home run here, then, or if he gets hit, that would be really, honestly, if I was Zunino, I would be looking to not move swiftly out of the way of a pitch right here. 1-1. Zunino, this may surprise you, is 0-2 with 2 strikeouts. Man, Zunino versus Brash would have been fun to watch too. 1-2. Get this out, score a run. Munoz comes in, closes it out. Everybody's happy. My first ever recap video is a pleasant one. Give it to me. Give it to me. I deserve good things. 1-2 pitch on the way. Oh, he got a pitch to hit too. But that is not going to do the job, I don't think. Nope. Almost had a collision between Julio and Crawford, but it's not. It's an out. It's an out. And we go to the bottom of the eighth. Crawford, Rodriguez, Wong. Mariners, nothing. Guardians, nothing. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. I expected a low scoring game. Be curious what the over under for this one was. Imagine 6.5 is my guess. I'm not really great sometimes at guessing what over unders are, but I imagine it was pretty low. Tell me if I'm wrong. Seeing Drew Timmy advertise casinos is kind of funny. He's been old enough to go into a casino since like 1998. That guy's 40. He's a good player. He's 40. Can't tell me any different. Goes Eggs. Love watching him. Drew Tim is 40. Yes, Julio's glove cutting is dynamic. Everything that guy does is spectacular to look at. You know, I will say I had a little bit of a debate with a buddy of mine who writes for a very prominent baseball website about who is better looking between Julio and Fernando Tatis. And he tried to convince me that Tatis is better looking than Julio, and absolutely not, man. There's no shot. Like, I'm not calling Fernando Tatis ugly by any stretch of the imagination, but Julio Rodriguez is much better looking. Much better looking. Julio Rodriguez is much better looking than the majority of baseball players. So it's not an insult to Tatis, but I was insulted for Julio to say that he's not better looking than Fernando. Come on. Come on. Way better looking. Come on. That's what you come here for, by the way, is the takes on Julio Rodriguez's attractiveness. All right. Another tough reliever here in Karinchak, who I very much disagree with pretty much everything he has to say politically, but man, his stuff is good. Man, his stuff is good. And so tough to pick up, too. So difficult. It's funny, I think a lot of people kind of gave up on him. Mistake. Mistake based on what he's done as a prospect, as a major league player. Like, yes, relievers carry volatility, but I think Karinchak has a chance to be as good as anybody in relief. It's one of the reasons why I love this bullpen so much. Absolutely did. Julio won the baby lottery. Yeah, he did. He really did. Julio is got a lot of stuff going for him. That's what we'll say. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. All right, I'm going to link this again. Cannot begin to tell you how much I appreciate the couple handfuls of people who have hung out with me tonight to watch this stuff. Like, yeah, it's gotten down to like 2 or 3 of you, but it's still so appreciated. And I've had a blast. We're not going to do this very often, but I thought for opening night, it was something that absolutely made sense. Postseason games, I'll certainly do that. And again, I think we're going to have a lot of them. I do think we're going to have a lot of them. But it's mostly going to be about the recaps and some other stuff too, like when transactions happen. So I just got a reminder on my TV to turn on animal control, and I'm not going to do that. And I'm wondering who the hell set up an alert for watching animal control. All right, let's promote this here, chat. Talk about promoted. All right, good at bat here from Crawford. 3-2 count. Be huge to get a runner on here because Julio looks like he is ready to do some damage. He's come, other than that first at bat, come awfully close of doing it in his last two. Swung at ball four. Swung at ball four, but fouled it off at least. 3-2 pitch. Good take. No. Huh? Maybe. He's saying he didn't swing, but nobody's doing anything. Did it maybe go off his bat? Shouldn't that be ball four? This is where volume would be awesome to have. We're talking about it. Zunino looks happy, but confused, but happy. Right. Doesn't look like he fouled the ball off. He's asking if he swung. Huh. This is weird. Looks like a walk to me, too. Yep, there it is. Runner on first. That's a great start. Good job, JP. All right, runner on first. Now batting. Number 44, Julio Rodriguez. He's just missed doing some damage these first two at bats. He's due for something big. Fastball, 0-1. Good pitch. Fastball, 1-1. Interesting. Yeah, I just couldn't tell, and again, with having no sound on, that's the one disbenefit. The reason I don't have sound on is because I do not want to get in trouble with copyright, folks. Good take. Two and one. I don't think you're moving a runner here. There's Munoz warming up. Sat next to that guy just a little bit ago. 2-1, way outside. Karinchak does not have his best command or anything close. See if they can take advantage of it. 3-1. See what they give him. If they give him anything. Kind of have to. Kind of have to give him something to hit. Because otherwise you're talking about first and second, nobody out. I think that, honestly, first and second, nobody out for Wong in that situation, yes, you are absolutely bunting. If that is what occurs, Colton Wong should be laying down a sacrifice bunt. I don't like bunting as much as anybody else, but that is a perfect situation for a bunt. Perfect. Whew. Julio got a fastball, fouled it back. Was a strike, but was not a great pitch to hit. Now at 3-2, do you trust him to make contact here and have the runner in play? Oh, he got a pitch to hit, but again, dang it, fly out to center field. Man, they have just not taken advantage of these opportunities tonight. You can tell Julio's very upset. Whew. Dang. Munoz is a large human. Seeing him in person, it was like, oh my goodness gracious, that is a big dude. All right. Runner on first, Colton Wong at the plate, 1 out. Again, no score. Would have been really nice to have a runner in scoring position again here, but it is what it is. Be a great time for Wong to come up with his first big Seattle Mariner moment. Do not think he did. A foul, at least. I'm back had to vanish because free Wendy's didn't come with the disclaimer that there was a body-based tax involving in it being free. What the heck? That's no fun. What'd you get from Wendy's? I'll be honest with you, I am starting to get hungry. Again, I have not eaten since about noon, and looking at my body, you can tell that I'm not going to starve anytime soon. Shut up. But I am definitely hungry. It's a long time to go without food. Biggie bags, nice. I live in a place that does not have DoorDash or Uber Eats, so a little jealous. Little jealous. Oh, good rip. Real good rip. Taking some good swings tonight. Just have not come through when needed. And I kind of needed it all night. I mean, it's a 0-0 game, but I try not to spew too many cliches. 2-2 pitch. Throw over. We'll be curious to see if it's a tie game still. Still think you're going Munoz. You're not going to save him for a save chance that doesn't exist. So be curious to see who throws after Munoz if they need to. Hopefully they don't. Because they do have a bunch of options. Oh, goodness. 3 $5 biggie bags with a base of $30 to begin with. Wow. Another middle pitch. Just have not been able to drive the baseball on those tonight. Outman hit the ball out. I got to be honest with you. I think Outman might be in for a big year this year. The people I spoke with, especially with the Dodgers, love this kid. And we're so impressed with what he did during the spring. Good take. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Do you send Crawford here with 1 out? I'd be tempted. I don't think Colton Wong usually pretty good at putting the ball into play. Would be nice to avoid the double play here. So I think you're sending him. And I think they're thinking the same thing. Oh, did you see that? Naylor tried to do a little bit of the hidden ball trick there after the bad throw and try to convince Crawford to get up. Sneaky. Crone has a 2-homer game and Montero just did a homer. Nice. I think Crone is in for a big year as well. Again, the Rockies stink, but there's some guys who I think are going to have. And there's the hit by pitch. So we've got first and second, 8th inning, 1 out, and Ty France is at the plate. I wonder if they consider making a move here. Cleveland, that is. Would have been ball 4 anyway, even if it didn't hit him, but not a fun place to get hit, but he looks like he's fine. All right. Enio De Los Santos warming up. Interesting. Arm that I like quite a bit a little bit ago and has been a perfectly cromulent reliever. So big opportunity here for France. Again, we've talked about it a bunch, but I think the Mariners getting off to a hot start is as important as it's ever been. And look, I realize the team has won 90 games the last 2 years by getting off to terrible starts, or at least having terrible spurts in the early part of the season, I should say. But I think, again, if you want to win this division, man, Karinchak has no idea where his stuff is going right now. I would be absolutely putting on the take sign here. Even with France having a really nice game, double off the wall, made a hard contact single as well. Awesome to see. Great start. At this point in the game, with him having no clue, unless you're getting something middle, I'm taking. And Ty France did not listen to me. Took a very good hack on a pitch that was a little high, but a strike. Definitely a pitch he could have driven. Definitely a pitch he could have driven. Imagine he's coming back with a breaking ball. Nope. He got a fastball. That's fairly deep. That's fairly deep. Is that gone? Yes, sir. Ty France with a 3-run home run. And the Mariners have a 3-0 lead. What a great game for Ty France to start the year. We talked about it on the radio that it was very important for him to get off to a hot start. That's awesome to see. Hell yeah. 3-0 Mariners. What a great start for him. That's unbelievably good. Man, Ty France. He was great in the first half last year. Can he do it again? Final numbers for Ohtani: 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 base balls, 10 Ks. He's just stupid. It's not fair. It's not fair to be that good. It is not fair to be that good at 2 things. Gonna have to do a France GIF on Twitter. Going with my favorite, which is the bonjour smiley face. Bonjour. Now, here's the thing. Do you get selfish and want some more runs? Or do you want Munoz to come in for a save situation? The fantasy guy in me would love to see him coming into a 3-0 game. Because again, I have rostered Munoz in so many leagues. So many. And so want him to be one of the elite relievers in baseball. It'd be great to see him get off to a save. With a save to start the year, I should say. But I wouldn't mind scoring a few more runs. Scoring runs is fun. There's part of me that goes, hey, let's save some offense for tomorrow. You got a 3-run lead with Andre Munoz pitching, a chance to get that save situation. Is that selfish? Yes. Am I a selfish person sometimes? Very rarely, actually, but yes, absolutely. Yeah. What a great at bat there by France, too. And they driving the baseball to the opposite field. He's done that twice tonight and then did sting the single into left field. Just a brilliant game from him. Brilliant game. Pitching has been outstanding. There were opportunities to score more runs tonight, and this game isn't over. Cleveland still absolutely has a chance to win this baseball game. But you have to feel awfully good with that. Awfully good. Now, Teoscar, if you wanted to hit your first Mariner home run here, I wouldn't complain either, but it would take away. Get him a save chance, deserves to rack up when he gets a chance. Cody, I'm with you. I won't complain if they score some runs, but I'm with you. Yeah, and look, when people are pitched that way, and if you can drive the baseball that way, great. My only complaint with the opposite field stuff is like when you throw that hard with that much movement, asking to make hard contact that way is really difficult. Really difficult. Oh, Teoscar. Man, I will say this again. It looks like they're going to win this game. And great game by France. They have missed so many middle pitches tonight. So many. And I hope it doesn't come back and kick him in the keister. It doesn't look like it's going to, but man, there have been some very hittable pitches tonight. That was not one of them. Really nice slider there. All right. Oh, there's only one out. I forgot about that. I was ready to say it's hang on time. Man, that is such a. You know what's funny? That was a little bit. Looking at it now, it's a nice piece of hitting again from France. He gets a little lucky here. That was definitely not him getting all of it there, but but I will certainly take it. All right, big dumper time. Another middle pitch that's going to end in and out, I think. Nope. Almost a really nice play there from Jose Ramirez, but ends up being a foul ball. But another, like, the Guardians have attacked the Mariner hitters tonight, just attacked, except for a few occasions of walkies. And they have just not come up other than what we just saw, of course. There have been the Mariners probably should have scored a bunch more runs in this game. A bunch more. But we're not going to complain. We are not going to complain, especially if they end up with this W. Not if they end up with this W. I will complain if something bad happens in the ninth, but that wasn't quite middle, but another pitch that probably could have been driven. All right, now it's hang on time. Now it's hang on time. Send grandma a text. See how she's doing. I will simply text her. Hang on. Time. Oh, I love that they show that. Do I think that the Bombers or what? I forget the exact name of it. It's a little corny, but if they like it, that's fine. I like it better than Electric Factory. Electric Factory to me is dumb. And I think it's worth pointing out that the guy who came up with that is now a member of a different team and was one of the most hated Seattle Mariners in the time of me covering it. Would like to see Kelenic get another at bat. Thought his second and third one looked good. Like the glimpse from spring training is carried over. Yeah, I totally agree, Cody. Totally agree. Now, I don't want to see it now because it would mean something bad happens. But I think you have to be encouraged what you saw from Kelenic tonight. I mean, he took a borderline pitch at the bottom of the zone, made some nice hard contact on that single, borderline carryover from what he did in spring training. Now, I say borderline because, like, nobody's asking him to hit 400 or whatever stupid number he did in spring training with like a 1.7 OPS or whatever. Yeah, nobody needs that, but just looking confident and comfortable at the plate. And he was confident and comfortable at the plate against some really good pitchers today. Really good. So, yeah, very encouraged by what I saw from Kelenic. Yeah. Definitely happy with what I saw from him. Very happy with what I saw from France. I'll save the rest for the video. I am going to do right after this. I'm going to go grab something to eat at 9:19 p.m., which isn't great, but I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to record the very first recap video for Mile Y, and I'm really excited. And again, we've still got 3 more outs for this one, but a few of you have hung out all night, and I cannot thank you enough. It's really, thank you. I really want this channel to work, and it's only going to work if I keep getting support from you guys. And feels like we might just make this work. Feels like it might. All right, Mr. Munoz. I have a funny feeling. Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I had a funny feeling that he might overthrow the baseball in this first one. There's a nice little easy grounder to Crawford. Nice little throw to first base, and we have 1 out. Just the way he was talking on the radio, I was a little nervous about Munoz tonight because I think he's amped the you know what up. Cody, thank you. No win for Shohei. Ridiculous. But his stuff's so good, it really doesn't matter. This is a fun one. The ultimate swing and miss guy against the ultimate doesn't swing and miss guy. Munoz versus Kwan. Chad, just let me know. I'd love to come on at some point. It's kind of tough to schedule stuff out now, but the support you've shown me here, RotoWire, that other place that has a peacock for a logo, I would happily come on your show. Happily. Just got to work out of time because I work literally 7 days a week now. So it's that's part's a little tough, but I would love to come on. Absolutely. Happy to come on anybody's show. They podcasts are fun. I love you all, and I'm always try my very best to be as open to that stuff because I've always appreciated people to come in. Chad, I'm not going to comment on that, but it's very funny. Little ground ball to Suarez, throw to first base, got him. Kwan, 2 outs. One more. Let's get one more. That's very funny, Chad. I wish him well. I do miss some of the people I was working with there. So glad so many of them found a quick home with me at RotoWire. Like it meant the world to me to get those guys. Yeah, it sucks, Chad. It sucks. It's just the nature of the business. Just the nature of the business, but it really sucks. It really sucks. You know what's funny is I forgot to send on my Facebook channel the actual right link to this thing too. So we should have actually like 400 million people watching right now instead. But would have been a fun way to end it there. But Ahmed Rosario does get on via hit. Thank you, Chad. RotoWire is number one. Could not be happier with those guys either. They're awesome. I mean, look, I've always respected them from afar. Now that I get to work for them, I respect them even more just because, you get to see the sausage being made. Yeah, he is definitely working more of the low part of the zone. Uh-oh. That'll fall. That's a little bleeder for a hit. Now we've got runners on second and third with 2 outs. Some fantasy managers will be happy with that Ramirez double. Helps them, even though it's maybe too late, but second and third is never a bad thing to have, although already with 2 outs. Did not get a lot of that, but made enough contact. All right. And this is a scenario, too, where I think you just have Munoz work through it. Chad, I totally understand. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Runners on second and third. Tying run at the plate. Josh Bell up. Oh, boy. Nice play by Mr. Raleigh. Don't think the guy was going to try to score anyway. Be a silly way to get your final out. But, man, the movement on that pitch. Even as a ball. Impressive movement on that pitch. Do not let Josh Bell have his shining moment in his first game, guys. There you go. 1-1. Although even that pitch wasn't great. Not the best pitch that I've seen. But if you're looking fastball and you get that pitch, it's good luck to you. Wow, that did not miss by very much. Let's see what our friend the Emerald Queen people say. Borderline strike. Sometimes when you miss bad, you're not going to get that call. So, all right, foul ball. 2 strikes now. Get loud, Safeco. Make it loud. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to France. This should do it. Munoz gets it out, and the Mariners win 3-0 on opening day. Do you think they will hold Munoz for end of games more this year? We talked about this a little bit earlier. I don't. I think it's going to be just more often than not this year. I think that the most important situations are going to be him closing. So, yeah, I do think he's going to get more saves than he did last year. But Paul Sewell's going to get saves. Diego Castillo's going to get saves. It's going to be a frustrating thing. Lubin Tabera campaign to blow the game. Mariners won. That's all that matters, baby. This was fun and a nice fast-paced game, obviously helped by the fact that nobody scored a damn run until the 8th inning. Going to do the recap now. It's going to be hard not to talk about Luis Castillo absolutely shoving. And it's so hard that, no, I'm just going to talk about it. Cody, Chad, everybody, thank you so much. This was so fun. Again, we didn't exactly pile up the viewers, but that's okay. It's a guy talking about a baseball game with a lot of pauses in between. But we'll do this again. We will do this again. And again, the big thing here is that every single Mariner game will have a recap, starting with one that is going to be recorded in about a half an hour. Love you all. Thank you so much for coming out to the chat. It's been a blast, and we'll see you next time.